We got some big stuff to talk about. I missed a lot last week, apparently. All right. Well, let's jump in. Welcome to the Game News Show. It is the Game News Show. It's a weekly, well, semi-weekly, I guess. I missed last week. I was out of town. Cut me some break. Cut me some break? Is that a phrase? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to get into that in a moment. I want to start off by first saying super duper huge community shout out to everybody who pushed us over the 100 subscriber mark here on YouTube. That's super awesome. It's just, you know, a lot of effort has gone into these videos, and I know it doesn't look like it because I'm just streaming and producing content on the side, but I do a lot of like information gathering when I'm not making the video tonight, and then I stay up really late and edit. So I really appreciate everybody subbing the channel, liking the videos, commenting, and all that. That Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Trailer 3 reaction is one of the most watched videos on the channel. So that's pretty awesome. I hope to do more reaction content like that. So if you like that and you want me to keep doing it, let me know in the comments. Be sure to subscribe to the channel while you're here. And let's talk about some game news, because last week we had a lot happen. So we had a Nintendo Direct last week, which everybody was very much predicting would happen. There were some leaks around it, I suppose. And then there were a lot of rumors about what they were going to talk about. And all I got to say is it was a lot of farming games, a lot of like RPG farming games. And that was weird. Not like in a bad way, just in a that's unusual kind of way. So that's most of like that caught me off guard. I'm not going to go through the whole direct here because you've already watched it. You've already seen a ton of people talk about it, but I would be lacking in my coverage of the game news as the Game News Show if I didn't at least talk about it at some point. Now's the time. Anyway, so we'll get into it. I'll just want to highlight like my biggest takeaways from it, which are starting with Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Super excited. Kirby's Return to Dreamland on Wii was a ton of fun. And while the new Kirby, the Forgotten Land, is great and is awesome 3D, I still haven't played it. It's good to see that this game won't be like just trapped and forgotten on the Wii. It's very fun. It has a good bit of challenge to it. And just is overall a solid Kirby game. Again, I enjoyed it a whole lot. So it was cool to see that that's coming out. And nice to know that, again, it's not stuck on the Wii. Anytime a game is not trapped on old hardware is good, in my opinion. The second thing I was excited about, I've been playing this game off stream on Xbox, but Tunic coming to Switch, awesome. If you have not played Tunic, play it. It's not, a lot of people throw it in the Souls category, and it's challenging, but there are a lot of things to make it easy. And it is by far one of my favorite games I've played this year. I highly recommend it to anyone that's casually interested in it. You'll enjoy it. So it's cool to see that coming out. Not like a mind-blowing announcement. Again, I'm just highlighting the things that I was really excited about when I watched the Direct way after the fact, by the way. The other thing, Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line. I loved these games on 3DS. I thought they were fantastic. I love rhythm games. Final Fantasy music. What better like meshing right there? The 3DS did it really well with the touchscreen. It's going to be really interesting to see how it works on the Switch. I imagine it's going to work similar to some of the stuff from Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, which, now that I think about it, I haven't played that game. As much as I love rhythm games and I like Kingdom Hearts, I just didn't pick that game up. I probably should do that at some point. But anyway, not talking about that. Theater Rhythm is a fun game. This looks like the best collection of it looks like they're just pulling out all the stops and putting like all the music in it that they can. Which, I mean, it's all Square music and other Square RPGs that aren't Final Fantasy being featured in DLC. Like, that's cool. Super excited to see that come out. Again, as a rhythm game fan, as a casual Final Fantasy fan, this has been my favorite announcement. Not like the best announcement, but a very like happy surprise announcement. So yeah, it's cool. That's going to be cool to pick up at some point. Then we got a boatload of N64 games, and we'll talk about the big one in a moment. But I just want to touch on the Mario Party's coming out. That's actually really cool because with Mario Party, I think it's Superstars that's on Switch. there's a lot more people wanted, and it's like, well, look, just go play the originals now. The same thing. You'll enjoy it. Yes, it looks like an N64 game, but you'll get to play it on a Joy-Con, and if it's not drifting, it'll be better than an N64 controller. Or you could just buy like all of the Bluetooth N64 controllers and do it that way. Also, Pilot Wings, 1080 snowboarding, and Excitebike 64, fantastic additions. Those were some great N64 games at launch or around launch, I believe. And then we'll touch on Pokemon Stadium because those are interesting. But I'll get to those. We'll go ahead and jump over to GoldenEye, finally getting a re-release. Microsoft and Nintendo were finally able to come together, shake hands, and make a deal to get this game to re-release on both the Switch, and they didn't mention it because obviously it was a Nintendo Direct, but it's coming out on Xbox as well, coming to Game Pass. You're going to want to play it if you have any nostalgia for that game. Unfortunately, the Xbox version will not have online multiplayer, if I understand the reactions to it on the internet. But the Switch version on the N64 expansion pass will have online multiplayer, which is very weird to me, but okay. Why wouldn't you want the absolute best platform for playing console games online, not to have one of the best multiplayer games work online? But it sounds like some weird deal. I imagine if I had to guess, I would say that is a timed deal. And once people aren't playing it on Switch online a whole lot, because I think it'll die off pretty quick, people will play on the Xbox. I think they will unlock it and allow online play at some point. If they don't, hey, you know what? You can still play split screen. And supposedly the Xbox version will be 4K and high frame rate. So that's going to be nice. That'll be a good way to play. Anyway, looking forward to that. Okay. For me, GoldenEye's huge, but the Pokemon Stadium games are awesome. Some of the best N64 games, because you could battle your Pokemon in 3D. I mean, at the time, we only had Pokemon on our Game Boys, 8-bit. It was what it was. Fantastic, right? But now you can play them on your N64 and you can have battles. But I'm wondering if this is kind of like a precursor to Game Boy games getting announced for Switch Online. And the only reason I say that is because you can play in the original Pokemon Stadium games, you could play the GB versions, Game Boy versions of Red, Blue, Yellow, and Gen 2 Gold, Silver. I don't think Crystal worked, but I don't remember. But you could play those through, like, it wasn't really an emulator, but for all intents and purposes, you could just run the game on Pokemon Stadium on your N64. So then you could have a way to play Pokemon on your TV, which was mind-blowing as a kid. And I'm wondering, not that feature specifically, but transferring your party from Pokemon Red or Blue into Pokemon Stadium was totally a thing. Like, that was like a big part of the game. Otherwise, you had to use like rental Pokemon, and it just wasn't as fun. So I'm wondering if this is like the precursor to Game Boy games coming to Switch Online, because these aren't coming all at once. These are coming later at some point in the future. And so, like, that's this whole list. This whole list was like, hey, this is coming up. Keep an eye out for these games coming out. So that being said, I really, really think that this is like the beginning of them going, yeah, we're definitely doing Game Boy games. A lot of people want it to happen. I feel like it's inevitable. It should happen. Nintendo just doesn't want to. They're going to wait for like the Switch Online subscriptions to maybe dwindle or decrease a little bit. Not dwindle like they're running out or nobody's buying it. I just think they're going to wait for like a sales slump and then bam, Game Boy games available. A lot of people are saying that. It makes a lot of sense. I think that's going to happen. So yeah, that was one of the better parts of the entire Direct for people was GoldenEye, a bunch of N64 games getting added. Some of the best N64 games, in my opinion, that we don't already have, right? Like this is where they go. This is, they go to the next thing. Because I mean, you've got your Zelda, you got your Mario, you've got the heavy hitters already on the expansion pack. So they've got to add more, and this is it. This is like what we're going to start getting. Now, will they add some of the other games that people want? Could we possibly see Mega Man Legends? Could we possibly see, was it Ogre Battle 64? Maybe. I don't know. Quest 64, anyone? Is that on there? I have no idea. Anyway, all right, moving on. We also got Mario Kart. They teased 2 courses for the next track, the next 2 cups coming to the booster pass. Was it the booster course pass? Sorry, my naming is all wrong. Anyway, we got 2 tracks teased. A new-ish if you haven't played Mario Kart Tour. Merry Mountain from Mario Kart Tour and Peach Gardens from Mario Kart DS. Peach Gardens was a fun track, so I'm excited to see that come back. And then Merry Mountain looked cool. And, say what you will about the visuals. Getting new tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is nice because it's nice to just play something different than the same tracks we've been playing since the game came out. And granted, I haven't played Mario Kart 8 since the last booster course update came out. I'm looking forward to this too. We'll play through these cups. I'd like to play more. I don't know. Is there still like a thriving online community for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? It's like the #1 selling game on the Switch. It's got to be relevant, right? So I thought that was cool just to finally get some updates on when we're going to see the next courses. So if that keeps up, the rest of them will come out every few months next year, through the end of next year, I believe is what they said. All right, so now we're at the end of the Direct, right? We've got the biggest announcement. We all knew it was happening. We got a name. Breath of the Wild 2 is Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and it comes out May 12th next year, 2023. Awesome. Kind of a letdown, though, because the trailer didn't show a whole lot. This could have been a separate announcement and had more of an impact, in my opinion. I think for a Direct that was focused on stuff coming through the end of the year and some stuff into next year, this kind of felt out of place. I'm hyped for the game. I'm ready to play it. I want to see more of it. I just feel like with this Direct, everyone was expecting Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD to come to Switch. There were a lot of rumors about Metroid showing up. And I'm a little bummed that those didn't happen, but I'm finally excited that we have a name, so no more Breath of the Wild 2. And we got a release date, so now we're not going to just be waiting for, an unknown amount of time, which it makes sense. It had to come out next year. They've been working on it a while. It makes sense. So, yeah, overall, good Direct. I think a lot of the announcements were just kind of not for me. A lot of the sim and farming and JRPG games. There was a new Fire Emblem. I didn't feature that here. I'm not a big fan of Fire Emblem. I've tried to get into it. The whole tactics genre just does not captivate me at all. And so, I just haven't touched it. That was last Tuesday. Also, Sony did a State of Play, and it was basically a God of War trailer. And that was cool. God of War Ragnarok. I don't talk about M-rated games a whole lot, but I do like the newer God of War. I still need to finish the other one, to be honest. I'm kind of waiting to get a PS5 because, I'm trying to get my hands on a PS5. And as soon as I do that, I'll go back and play the other God of War, and then I'll eventually play this one too. But it looks good. Getting a little more on that was cool. Glad to see more of that. There was some PSVR 2 news that, I don't know. Every time I hear about the PSVR, I'm actually less interested in it because it seems like at this point, they're just announcing stuff that it's like, okay, they haven't given us a price, but given all the features that we know about, it's going to be expensive. And then you can't even play older PSVR titles with it. So now if you have a lot in the old VR system, you got to keep both to be able to access all your games. I just think it's a little short-sighted. They could have at least made the headset work and you had to have like the Move controllers or a DualShock 4. They've done no less than when they made the DualShock 4 work on, I think, the PS3, but it had to be like wired or, there were like some weird caveats around it. And I don't see why they wouldn't approach this the same way. But VR is a weird space anyway. If you've kept up with it at all, it just seems like they don't know who to appeal to with it. Do you appeal to your enthusiast crowd who wants like the best thing, or do you appeal to the masses and get like a weird experience out of it? I had a Quest 2, Oculus Quest 2 for a while. I guess it's the Meta Quest now, but that's a dumb name. I had that for a while, and I just did not like playing it. I really didn't. The games were interesting somewhat, but I just didn't enjoy isolating myself completely while I'm in the living room with my family. You know, it was just weird. Playing it in my office, I felt like I was doing something I shouldn't have been doing. Like, it just felt like the whole thing felt weird. And all I was doing was playing like rhythm games mostly. I just didn't enjoy it. So I'm convinced VR is not for me, and that's okay. PSVR 2, very weird. I didn't have a slide for it because I didn't intend to talk about it that long. But hey, that came up. Anyway, today or yesterday, I don't know when the rumor came up. I've got pictures of the PlayStation consoles here. So Sony likes to do revisions, and they've been doing some cost-cutting revisions of the PS5 to reduce the weight and all the other things. And you know, good changes. It makes it to where they can get more systems out for less money, and that's going to improve the supply chain. So why not do that? But now there's a rumor that they're going to go down to one SKU, and so every PlayStation 5 would be digital going forward with an optional disc drive add-on. And I kind of want them to do it and that's why I have the pictures of both the digital edition. It's right here. Silly. Both the digital edition and the regular PS5, because if you look at them, the disc drive looks very out of place. And so if it was an add-on, I could just like put it aside or not connect it if I didn't need it. And I feel like I wouldn't leave it connected all that much. You know, I think that if this were true, and I don't know all of the details, but I could see this happening as a way for Sony to get more PS5s off the line, because if they're one SKU, all digital, that's all they have to make. You know, that's kind of easy to do. It's easier than doing two, and it's cheaper than forcing a disc drive in every system. Will that upset some people? Absolutely. But it really depends on how expensive the disc drive like add-on would be. It would be a Blu-ray drive. It would probably only be compatible with the PS5 until somebody cracks the firmware and uses it on PC. And then, hey, you got maybe a cheap Blu-ray drive for your PC. I don't know. Do people put disc drives on their computers anymore? I don't. I haven't built a computer with a like newly bought disc drive in a long time. So all that being said, I'm here for it because a lot of my games I buy digital anyway. The disc drive looks weird, adds weight. I think it would be better overall. And it may be a hot take for some people. I get it. People like their physical games. I feel like I shouldn't buy digital games on the Switch. Kind of feel like the PlayStation's going to be all digital, and it's going to do it first. And even with Microsoft and their dual SKUs, they will probably follow suit because it will be cheaper in the long run. And that means more consoles in more people's houses, which means more people can buy them and play games on them. And that'll be good. So I think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a bad idea at all. The optional add-on depends on how much it would be, but I'm here for it because, I mean, again, like I said, I don't buy physical games. Anyway, moving on. So over the weekend, maybe last week sometime, I don't know what the time frame was, but sometime between the last game news show and this one, we got a ton of Overwatch 2 news. There's a lot to unpack here, so I'm gonna try to condense it down because this video is gonna be pretty long, and I don't know if it should be a whole lot longer. But all right, so let's get into it. We've got Season 1 launching October 4th. We've got, which is the release date of Overwatch 2. We've got a new character, Kiriko. Don't know how to say it. I don't think I heard it said in the trailer. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm American. What do you want me to do? We don't know how to speak. New support character. If you're an Overwatch 1 player, I believe you get her day one for free. You don't have to like unlock her through a battle pass or anything. Looks cool. Nice to see a new support character that isn't just, I don't know. She doesn't look like overpowered healing. Looks like a fun character to play though. They've shown off like the moves, the gameplay trailer, her abilities and stuff. They have a story trailer up. So this is it, the new character. And then it looks like they're going to be releasing new characters pretty regularly. We'll get into that in a moment. So they showed off some screenshots of the battle pass. It's got a free tier and a premium tier. It's pretty standard. The premium tier will be unlockable with gold. Apparently there are challenges you can do to get that gold. Don't know why I went onto this slide, but hey, we're on this slide now. And then this is the roadmap that they put out. I'll make this a little bit bigger so we can look at it. So things that they have talked about, you know, the game's gonna be free to play, new PvP, seasons. It'll be, I think they said every 9 weeks. And then cross progression, which I forgot was gonna be a thing. And so there's a whole article on the Overwatch 2 page, just about how cross progression is gonna work. And I'm excited for that because that just means I can play on any platform, which with crossplay means a lot less, but it also will make it easier for, like, you know, me to play with other people. And that's important. I think the player base is going to benefit from that. I mean, crossplay has been awesome. Cross progression will be great for everybody that maybe started on a console, moved to a different console, or started on a console and moved to PC. Now all of your stuff will be in one spot, and that'll be great. I think that's cool. And then for the content roadmap, obviously season 1, we've got 3 new heroes, 6 maps, 30 skins, new battle pass. Genji has a mythic skin, so they're going to do mythic skins, which I don't know if they're going to do mythic tier unlocks for everything, but kind of cool. The new game mode, which I believe is push. And then season 2 will be in December, where we'll get a new tank, another new map, some more new skins. And so it looks like we'll just, you know, all the drought we've had in Overwatch for the last couple of years, they're opening up the floodgates with season 1, and then every 9 weeks we'll be getting fresh content. They're also going to be doing like store bundles, like every other free-to-play live service game, where you'll be able to get, you know, a skin pack, maybe some icons or something. Excuse me. It is what it is. You know, it's free to play, so they've obviously got to monetize it somehow, and I'm okay with that. But yeah, that's it for this edition of the Game News Show. Thanks for hanging out. I know this was a bit of a long one. I had a lot to cover, and I had a lot more opinions than I thought I did on some things. So sorry for that, if that's weird. I may cut it out. I may not. If I do, sorry. You won't know what I'm talking about here. If I don't, sorry. Thanks for hanging out. If you made it to the end of the video, be sure to leave a like, a dislike, a comment. Let me know what was your favorite part of the Nintendo Direct, and are you hyped for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom? I know I am. But man, I really wanted Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD on Switch before then. Not that it matters, because they can still do it. It can still come out, but I really wanted that. Anyway, thanks for liking, commenting. Thanks for subscribing if you're a subscriber. We hit 100. Let's just go ahead and keep going. Keep going up. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you're watching with me on Twitch right now, we're going to get into some Pokemon Shield. And if you're on YouTube, thanks for hanging out. We'll catch you next time on Game News Show, or whatever else is next. Who knows? Bye. On it. I'm going to go up and get the alt areas in the middle. Well, the alt area. All right, we're going to go mess with this. Boom. Triple kill. That was cool.